When I first started teaching high school, I looked for stories about ideas that I wanted my students to wrestle with. One of those stories, Hemingway's Hills Like White Elephants, is an abortion story without using the word. Both points of view are considered. The man would obviously like the woman to have an abortion, relieving himself of the consequences of raising a child. The woman, carrying new life within her, wants to think about keeping the baby. There is much to take into consideration in the story from both points of view. But what I remember most about that reading and the ensuing discussion was a letter that I received in the mail the next year. One of the students from that class discussion about abortion had written a paper on the topic. Surprisingly, a literature professor in the first year of this young woman's college experience had the class read the same Hemingway stories. My former student was kind enough to send me a copy of the paper that she had written in her first year college lit class. The introduction to the paper described a woman who had gone through the same experience as the woman in Hills Like White Elephants. It seems a senior in high school had been impregnated by her high school principal. The man in this real-life situation was trying to persuade the young woman to have an abortion. The majority of the paper then went on to interpret Hemingway's short story. But the conclusion, oh, the conclusion of this paper, I will never forget. Returning to the introduction, the young woman in the story was my former student's mom, and the pregnancy being considered for abortion was my student. I was flabbergasted. The student never mentioned the story in my class, but I retell her story here as a testimony to the celebration of human life. For Truth in Two, this is Dr. Mark Eckel, personally seeking truth wherever it's found.